Hi, and welcome back to Raising Rogers. The book we're going to talk about today is called Image Bearer, and it's by Ellie Sanazaro and Madison Kay. So this book starts out talking about creation, how God made the sun and the moon and the stars, and God says all of these things are good, but it didn't seem quite complete. So then God makes Adam and Eve. He makes a man and a woman, and he says, "You are made in my image, and all my creation with you I will share." So then the book asks a couple of silly questions that the kids just love. It says, were volcanoes made in God's image? No way! What about the elephants, the tigers, the smooth manta ray? No, of course not. The only image bearers that God created were man and woman, and God had an incredible plan for these two people. So then we come to this page of this little girl, and she says, "Am I like Adam and Eve too? Do I bear God's image? And what about you?" The answer is yes. It says, "You reflect who God is, and you are wonderfully made and undoubtedly His." So the book goes and it shows pictures of different boys and girls. And all of them are, they have little names. Like this little girl's name, it says, is Harper. This little boy's name is Ryder. And you may notice that he is in a chair that helps him walk around and helps him talk. And then it says, "You bear God's image if you use wheels to travel on sidewalks or carpet, or if you use your legs, or if you use crutches to walk. You're still made in God's image." So every page on this book has a picture of different children with different types of disabilities. Some of them are physical, some of them you may not be able to see. And on the bottoms of some of these pages, you will notice that there's some fine print. So this little boy's name, it says, is Ashton. It says, "If you see with your eyes as well if you don't, it won't change how God made you like him. No, it won't." And so this fine print at the bottom here, it says, "Ashton is blind, so he uses his white cane to explore his world safely. He reads and writes using an alphabet called Braille, in which letters are represented with a series of raised dots." So on some of the pages you may see with the little boys and girls an explanation, because some of their disabilities your child may not understand or may not have ever heard of. So I love that on these pages they have put a little explanation so that you can explain to your child. It shows a picture of a little boy named Jackson who uses some oxygen to breathe. And it says we have Theo and Amaya. It says, "God had a plan for you long before birth, so don't ever doubt if your life contains worth." I love that they've covered so many different bases and so many different kinds of disabilities in children, so that when maybe your child sees a person like this out in public in real life, it's not a shock to them. You know, it's something that children are just honestly just simply curious about, and the book helps explain that. And at the end it says, "You're so precious to him that God sent his son. Jesus came to give life, and his work it is done. Your value does not come from the things that you do. You have worth because God has made and loves you." So, also, the very last page, there's a picture, and it says, "Meet the image bearers." So I told you that there were some names attached to the illustrations in this book, and that's because these are real children, and it gives a very small snippet and a real-life picture of the children that you can actually see and meet and understand their situation. And this book is really special to me because I have a son with epilepsy. And so for him, that is a disability in some ways, because there are just some things that we have to be careful about and have to avoid with him so as not to cause seizures. And this is something that I think he can relate to, because there are things in life that he will have to be careful about. And so to see that there are people in this world who also have other disabilities and other issues that they have to deal with is really special, and I think helps him relate in that way. So again, this book is called Image Bearer by Ellie Sanazaro and Madison Kay. And I think this book will help explain disabilities to your children, help them see that no matter how different they were made, that God still loves them and that their life still has worth. So I think that you should definitely purchase this book and help your child see that our differences can be beautiful, and that no matter what, we are all made in the image of God. So until next time.